Hi everyone and welcome back. Welcome to another brand new video, and in this video we are going to talk about Sveltekit layouts. That's really important topic because when we build the application there are many links here and there, the header, footer, new menu, and every page can have their own layout, like let's say the application layout, auth layout, side nav layout, right? So how we can reset the layout and how we can inherit the layout from the parent component, and how we can define the layout of each and every route separately. Okay, this is our code base and we will try to match the layouts with this. So here you can see there is some kind of a layout which has the new menu, and when you click on settings, this menu should appear, the left new menu, and then when you click on the settings profile, then this body template can change and that has its own layout. Okay, so let's start from here. We are working on the layouts. Okay, so we'll create routes. I somehow deleted it. And another important, I will cover a lot of things. Let's say I wanted to do the groupings of the layouts. How can I do this without even making that as a path inside the navigation? I can just prefix them something like this. That is, I think the same concept is there in the Next.js. You can create a folders like this. They won't become the path in the URL. Here you can say app auth. I can group the components in the auth. I can have a login, reset password, forget password, and register, which they can have their own separate layouts. And the app, where post login user will try to access it, and they have it will have its own layout. And inside this we have a root layout, which is plus layout dot ts and plus layout dot svelte. Okay, so these two are defining. This is the root layout component, and root layout, if you want to feed some data using simple load function, you can do it with the layout.ts, and how your layout will look like, that will be defined here in the layout.js, layout.svelte component. So I'm not defining any root level layout. I'm just putting the slot. Slot means all the children component of this root layout will be rendered here. I'm just adding some CSS, and in the layout.ts you can create simple load function, which is not doing anything, just returning some data. It's returning user, which I can access in the components using data.user. Okay, now we'll work on the auth and app. Let's say first we start working on the auth. Okay, so in the auth I will further create a component, login and register. Now whatever the layout I'm defining for these app will not be impacted by this, because they can have separate layout. Because in the login, what we need, I just need a small login form in the middle of the page, nothing else, no header, no footer, right? So its layout is totally different. So I have a login and register, and my login page is simple. So in login I'm creating plus page dot svelte, and the content is simple. I have a simple form, login form, and it is getting the data. And in the register I have a same kind of form. I will just add it, plus page dot svelte, and inside this register I will have just couple of more fields. That's it. I have, like, let's say a couple of more input text fields for the register form. Okay, and there is no layout defined. That means they will just appear in the middle of the page. Let's say if I just try to run this npm run dev, what will happen? And 5173, try to open it. Currently we don't have any root page defined, because if you see why this is happening, let's move it closer. Here inside this we don't have any plus page dot svelte any defined, right? So what we will do is we can just create some simple page plus page dot svelte. Hello. And when you put the login, yes, it's showing the login form. And when you hit the register, it's showing the maybe the register. I mean, we can just change the label, but it is rendering the login and the register forms, right? Now we will just change the layouts. I mean, we haven't defined any layouts yet. This layout is not doing anything. It's just feeding some data through this layout.svelte. Okay, we are just using app.css for the auth. This is the root layout. Now for the app components, because in the app component we are going to have a lot of things about settings, home and all. So let's do this. We can remove the page.svelte here because we don't have any intention to put it here inside app, because app is not going to become a path. What we can do is we can just put a plus page dot svelte. Now this page will become the root, because app is not a path of a route, and whatever we are putting inside plus page dot svelte will actually become the root page. Data.user.name, and inside app I have a layout also defined, layout.svelte. How I do it, plus layout.svelte, right? This page will define how this page will really look like, right? So here I can have, let's say, header. Let's say if I'm not defining any layout, this is my layout. I will define it, and this is the page. So I will just see something like this on the root. Yes, layout, right? And the data which is coming to the page component, which is data.user.name, which based on my understanding should be coming from this layout.ts. Data.user.name, data.user.name should be available in this page.svelte also. Data.user.name and home. Okay, so this is layout and this is page.svelte. Let me rerun this. Okay, this is rendering the layout, and inside page.svelte we have the component. Let's see, this is layout, it's rendering the layout, and this page.svelte. Okay, let's see, inside app we have couple of more things, like let's say about, and we have settings, right? So we have like some kind of a nav bar which is defined, and inside that we have the abouts and settings page. Inside about, okay, yeah, I got it, because in the layout we didn't define the slot. My bad. If you are not defining this, you are not putting a place where the children should render, right? Now when you hit /, it will render home and the user. I mean, I was doing a blunder, very big mistake, right? Plus page.svelte, it will use this layout, and in those on this layout all the components will be rendered here. So now I can start doing things. I will start building the layout, and in the layout we are using some stylings which are defined in the app.css. I'm using Tailwind here. I will also talk about how to set up the Tailwind and all, but I can use the new bar which is provided by Tailwind example. I have a Tailwind templates. This is a simple header I can create and simple new bar. I will not invest much time in writing HTML. So this is a new bar which has and the left hand side flex one, which will have a Sveltekit layout, and in the right hand side it will have these 4 links. Okay, now let's see, we got something like this, right? This is our app layout, right? And this is our home page. Now we can define about and settings. Inside about, whatever you put inside about is, let's say, plus page dot svelte. Inside about plus page dot svelte, we can just say, okay, this is the about page, blah blah. And settings is important because settings will have a nested routes. We will create few more things like profile, appearance. Inside settings, let's create another folder, profile, appearance. It should look like, okay, inside settings we have profile, appearance, and this will also have the layout, some data and all these things inside settings. What all things we have, because we need to define how the settings will look like, right? I mean, let me close all the folders. Sometimes it looks confusing because everywhere you see the same file names. Auth is closed. Inside app, I'm just only on the settings. So in the settings we have appearance and the profile, and it will have its own layout and page.svelte. What will happen when you click on settings? I will create plus page.svelte. It will be something like, okay, this is a settings page and this is the data. You can print something, and it will have its own page.ts. and plus layout.svelte. Here you can specify how the layout of the settings will look like, because when you click on settings, what will happen? We want to show the left new bar and the right hand section, right? So it's like, you can say in the definition of React world, it's a nested routes we are creating. So in the layout, page.svelte layout, we can just, for now, we can just create a slot. And this page we are rendering. Inside page.ts, do we need to do anything? We are not doing anything. Inside page.ts, returning empty data. So when I click on settings, okay, it is giving me the settings that is coming from plus page.svelte. Yeah, when you click on settings, this is rendering it. Now we need to design the left new bar, so that we will put inside the layouts of the settings, because whatever this is the root layout at the app level. Now at the settings, I need to redefine the layout for the settings sections only, right? So I will just put the template which I have as some kind of a drawer I'm going to put. So I have a further pages, settings, appearance, and the profile. I'll just check if it is correctly placed. So what I did is, I have a left new bar and with these 3 links. Okay, something wrong, I mean some styling issue. But what we have is, when you click on home, it is showing the, okay, so the layout issue is fixed. There was nothing, I was checking the mobile view. Okay, coming to this is actually the desktop view, but when you zoom it, it will create a layout view. It will create a mobile view, and there I will see this button, because it's all Tailwind classes we are using. Okay, so inside settings, what do we have? When you click on settings, this layout will come into picture, and you will see this left menu, right? And this is settings layout. Inside settings, we have 2 more folders. Let's say the profile and appearance. For appearance, it's fine. When you click on it, it's just using the same layout. It's not resetting the layout because we just have the component. But for the profile, what I did, I am using if you look into the profile, what do I have? I have created a file plus layout at the rate.svelte. What it will do? It is actually resetting the layout. I mean, it's the overriding the layout whatever I have defined, and it is just using slot, and this is the devices. This is the profile, right? It is just saying profile settings. So when you go to settings profile, what will happen is everything is gone. Whatever the layouts we have defined, the root layout and the settings layout, everything is gone because it has its own layout defined here. Let's not even talk about the settings. I can delete this. Here I'm talking only about the profile. Appearance is inheriting the settings layout, but the profile has its own layout defined. Let's play with this. What will happen if I just remove this thing? Then it will still use the parent layout. Let's see. The profile, right? It's still using because we haven't defined anything new in the layout. But if you really want to override it, then you just need to use @ I guess. Everything is gone, right? So what this @ is doing, whatever the layout root, this is the root layout. Then we have the app layout defined here. Then we have a settings layout which is defined here. Then I don't want to use anything, all of these layouts. I have maybe have totally a different layout which I wanted to put, and I wanted to reset everything. Then I can just use plus layout at the rate.svelte, and everything is gone. It will just show whatever is in the component plus page.svelte. So it's all about playing with the layout, how you can create these kind of screens by nesting the layouts, right? It's somewhat like interesting how we define the layouts in the Svelte kit, but it's all about how we put the plus layout.svelte in different folder structure. Either we inherit the layout or we reset the layout. That's all. This is all about the layout. In the next video, let's build some more interesting applications in Sveltekit with the Tailwind.